not going to pick up the book unless an elder teaches you these things. I got to put through something. Sirach. This is Sirach chapter 6. And verse, Sirach 6 and verse 32. My son, that thou wilt.
That's what you was trying to say.
I was seeing if y'all want to jump in, y'all brought your whole camp to y'all camp spot.
Yeah. Squatted up on us. Y'all be talking shit.
Nobody talk shit.
You do.
I'm defending myself.
Yeah, all right.
That is why be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape you. You know, and the scriptures also say, be continually with the godly man.
Think we should step up a little bit.
And this is saying, look, if you want to become wise, always
Can you set it up? But he can just take the phone off of this and put it on that.
That's going into also the breaking of bread of Yahweh. Breaking of bread of that's in the communion of Yahweh, sharing the knowledge. That's how you gain
That shit too short. Hold on, maybe we can take this piece. Wait, let me see that. Nah, it ain't gonna work.
That's cool. You can tilt it up. Hey, it's just like tilted like that.
We're gonna see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is Ephesians 3:19. It says, and to know the love of Hamashiach, which passeth knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of the Most High.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, man. Being filled with all the fullness of Yahweh Shai. How do you do that? How do you be filled with all the fullness of Yahweh Shai? You pass that wisdom along that great men have. They share the knowledge. All right? That's how you get the fullness of Yahweh Shai. And then out of that, what do you gain? You gain the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit
it ain't that bad.
those God-like attributes that the Most High wants us to be equipped with in order for us to receive of that holy kingdom. All right? See, this whole entire thing is a process, man. And this is what the Lord is building us up to be.
It looked like this one got taller.
So you can't neglect the counsel of the Lord, the body thing that the Lord set up. These are the building blocks to get us to where we need to be.
You never knew that?
Where do we need to be? We need to be
That's why I
far
need
away from here as possible. All right? So the Babylon is great to teach you to hate the old man of the world, right? They'll teach you the envy of him. You're not supposed to envy him, right? You see that a lot of times. You have upstart camps, whatever. Envy the position of the apostle. You're not supposed to envy him. You're supposed to learn from it, gain from it, and build from it. You know? But we live in an ass-backwards society where the young men are claiming to be the old man, and the old man, they just live in their own way.
You're right, man. You know, the heralds are small.
Ass-backwards, man. Can you read that one more time?
We got the smallest camp.
Okay, go ahead. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 15. It says, now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised.
See that the poor man's wisdom is despised. And who can that poor man be likened to in these times? The poor man in these times can be likened to us. Alright? We're the poor man pouring out this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shai, but it's being despised. Because it's not spoken of by men with renown. It's not spoken of by men with fame. You know? But guess what? Even though the poor man, even though he's poor, he's rich with what? He's rich with faith. Right? He's rich with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that was given from above. You got to remember what the scriptures liken it to wisdom too. It likened it to more precious than rubies, man. Alright? Sounds like it. Alright? Things that you can physically obtain, wisdom is greater than all of that. Alright?
This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 16. They said, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless,
the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. See that? And his words is not heard. Alright? And like I said, the poor man that you can liken it to at these times is us. And then going back even into the past, because you can learn from the past. Alright? You can learn from the past.
It was raining mad hard.
The wisdom that the Lord gave to Noah, that was despised, man. And was it heard? Nah, it wasn't heard, man. Alright? So we doing the same exact thing as our forefathers, man. Alright? In order for us to receive the kingdom of heaven, all the old stories that we read about in the Old Testament, as well as New, because those we say those old stories now, all those things have to replay again. Alright? In order for us to reach the destination, man. I brought up the example last door to explore. We have to reach certain destinations to get to the final destination.
That's right.
And what are we doing right now? We're replaying all these old stories all over again. I hope I can land back to my brother. That poor man represents the status.
Yeah.
You know, because this society, people only reverence the words of the fact of the status. They don't necessarily have the substance for us that we don't got stickers, we don't got flyers, we don't got a huge following on Instagram or all these social media platforms. So the things that we say, we look like regular ordinary men.
Yeah.
Not knowing
Less
that
than.
those same regular ordinary men will give you the keys and the jewels to a kingdom that forever. Right. You know?
No, if I can just add into this, because we was actually talking about something similar to that earlier at the other camp, is that the way how the Heavenly Father deals sometimes is just very practical. It's like even how Yahushua first entered, he came in riding on the donkey, you know, but what they were expecting versus what actually happened, they was expecting, you know, a spectacle, you know what I mean? Like for him to crack the heavens and come out of the skies, man. All right? But it's the same with us. The Lord is using the foolishness, quote unquote, of this world, all right, to despise the wise.
Yeah, to confound them.
To confound the wise of this world, man.
Yeah. You got it, bro. That's a beautiful point. The water made. The Lord did what he worried. He hid it in humility. You see that? Here it is. You know, it's like a treasure, right? It's like a treasure. And everybody is searching for this treasure chest. And they've been told that it has millions, if not billions of dollars in riches. They're looking all in the wrong places.
Yep.
Really, the message of the treasure of this gospel is hidden in plain sight. And the plain sight that is hidden in is covered in humility. But these people can't see it because they're expecting the wrong thing. Just like the Charlotte Water had mentioned. They didn't believe Yahushua was the anointed, was the Savior, because he came into Jerusalem with a donkey. Not knowing that's what the prophecy said what the Lord was going to do. But the Lord hid it in humility, man. Right? In order to find this treasure, you have to have a couple things installed in your mind. You have to have humility. In order to see the treasure, you have to be humble. Right? In order to see the treasure, you have to have faith. And even some of the components that those people, the unfaithful, didn't have.
That's y'all.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. If our gospel be hid, and it said to them that are lost. See that? If our gospel be hid, it is sent to them that are lost. Alright? And it's not that the gospel is hidden. The gospel is expected to was hidden in plain sight. Right? These people, just in DC alone, people walk up and down, what's the 7th Street? You know, each and every week, every Saturday. And this is the message of the Bible. Alright? This is the message of the kingdom. Alright? And you don't have to say no words, man. Here it is, the Lord set us up. You know, you got the camp, what's that, the Neck of Thy Enemies camp and the Herald's camp farther up on 7th Street. There's a Bible store right there. You can see there's like a little message sign on there talking about the kingdom. You know? Here it is, the Lord hid it in plain sight. But these people can't see it, man. You know? If our gospel be hid, it's hidden into them that are lost, man. You want to say something? Good.
Well, that's what Isaiah 6 was saying.
Yeah.
You know, they see, but they perceive not. You know, they hear, but they don't really hear it. You know, they make the heart people back. That's what's really happening. You know, we're right here. And you know, waving a big, like,
Much
money
respect.
signs, a big time.
Much respect to the Hebrew Israelites.
Okay.
Big love.
Hey, real quick.
I watch y'all on YouTube and everything.
You got time to talk for me?
I'm about to go get my hair cut real quick. I'll come back down.
What you about to get shaped up?
About to get a fade like you, man.
About to get
It's a fade. It's a little different, man.
Verse 4, it says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Jehovah, should shine unto them.
Yeah, to shine unto them. Alright, and then when you look at that word hidden, this is where you get, cryptocurrency. That suffix crypto literally means hidden in the Greek, right? And this is our cryptocurrency. Everybody big on these Ethereum, Dogecoin.
Yeah, Dogecoin.
All these cryptocurrency. The real cryptocurrency that's hidden is what? This truth, man.
Yeah.
And this is what's gonna make us rich beyond belief, man. Alright? But you have to what? You have to have these components in order to receive it. You have to have the faith. You have to have the humility to see these things that the Lord put out for us to see, man. It's not a coincidence that brothers is set up literally their post talking about the kingdom. That's not a coincidence. The Lord set it up that way.
Second Corinthians 4:3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, and whom the God of this world hath blinded.
See that whom the God of this world hath blinded, man. Alright? People walking around blind, man. Even though they can see. That's the disturbing part. People got little eyeballs that work. Functioning eyeballs. Functioning ears, but can't hear a goddamn thing. Can't see nothing, man. You know? When you talk about the signs of the time, here it is. And it's sad because even certain people, they can see certain things. They can link up the mark of the beast with the technology that's being ushered in right now, right? They can see it backed by these different countries, man. All right? They can see it coming, man. The implementation of the mark of the beast. But our people, which they've been blinded by the God of this world, can't see shit, man. You know?
This is bold because brothers are going into the different examples. Look back at the time when the Lord was setting up his king over Israel. All the people were thought small had to be the king because he was head and shoulders taller than everyone. Nobody came past his shoulder. He was the tallest Jacob probably. But King David, he's probably average height, maybe a little bit taller than average. But nothing crazy to the eyes. And that's when the Lord anointed. That's when the Lord blessed the king over Israel. Because, like it says in Samuel, the Lord looks at the inward, he looks at the heart, he doesn't look at the external. These people, they're carnal, so they're not able to see the spiritual things. You know? And that's the separation between the elect and the rest of the world. Is the Lord has opened up our spiritual eyes, so we can actually see the inward. We can actually discern. Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. It says, whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Jehovah, shine forth.
That light is being shined every day. But they just can't see it. They can't see it because they covered gross darkness. Right? That's how deep this darkness is, man. This darkness will have you believing that everything in the world is perfectly fine, that the second return of the Lord is not pending and not near. Right? This is why we tell our people to awake out of sleep. Can you get that in Romans 13 and 11?
Romans chapter 13 and 11, and that, knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
See that? Now it is high time to awake out of sleep, knowing the things that we know. What do we know? First and foremost, we know that we not just niggas here in America. That's first and foremost. Alright? Alright, we know that we the children of the Lord. And what comes with being the children of the Lord? Being Yasha Allah, the nation of Israel. It comes with knowing our power, the names of the Lord. We know that. Alright? Once you know the names of the Lord, you get to be more familiar with the Lord. The Lord starts revealing secrets into you. Let me get that in what's that? Amos 3:7. The Lord starts revealing certain mysteries into you. And then, once he reveals these mysteries to you, then you can properly prepare. Then you can start waking up, right, out of this gross darkness. Right? But if you don't know who you are, like the famous saying goes, if you don't know who you are, you don't know who your name is. You get to start being more familiar with it. You're trying to start revealing secrets.
Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth the secrets of his servant the prophet.
See that the Lord will start revealing secrets unto you, right? The parables of the scripture, like it says in the book of Psalms 78 and 2, the Lord utter parables, the dark sayings of old. He'll start revealing that into you, right? And then you can properly equip yourself, you know, for the spiritual walk, to start being awake. Right? To start preparing for the kingdom that was foretold about by our forefathers. Right? You can start doing this. Right? Jump back to Romans. Back in Romans chapter 13 and 11. Oh, last but not least, you start knowing who the enemy is. Alright? Alright? That's very important to know who the enemy is. Right? You'll know that the so-called white man Esau Edom, you'll know that what? Once you know who you are, you'll know who he is. You'll know that what? He's ruling in his last time. But according to the prophecy, like it said in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, his structure, his power structure, is going to be broken by who the world calls Jesus Christ, and Mashiach Yahushua. Alright? The Lord will start revealing these things. Alright? And it's time to wake up out of this gross darkness. Come back to
It's Isaiah 52, verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garment, O Yasharallah, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. This is Isaiah 52, verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion.
See that? The scripture says what? Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Alright? The script that is talking about, keep reading, because we'll mention the garment, right? Or you can read that part.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Put on thy beautiful garment.
See that? Put on thy beautiful garment. That beautiful garment. This knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding. Alright? In order to find out what the beautiful garment is, let's examine the actual garment. What's on the actual garment? You got the name of it. Then at the bottom, you have what? The border of blue and the fringes. What does that represent? You know? What does that represent? That represents what? The law, statute, commandment. But within the law, statute, and commandment, what's encrypted in it? It's encrypted with faith. Alright? So the beautiful garments that we have is this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and faith. Serving the Lord. Alright? What happened to the woman that touched the hem of Yahushua's garment? She had that issue of blood. What happened when she touched the hem of Yahushua's garment? She was healed. Yahushua explained to her what made her healed. Alright? What made her whole? It was her faith. So this is what the beautiful garments represent. This is what the Lord is commanding, O Zion. Alright? The people that are supposed to be set up to be a memorial, supposed to put on, man. Right? Finish that off.
It also says in just to paraphrase, you know, we walk naked.
Yep.
So this truth really is that garment that they're talking about. Those ones who walk without that, they walk without that truth. They want into the world to get caught out.
Well, to back up your point, Yahushua, like you said, Yahushua said, blessed is he that keepeth the garment. And if you don't keep that garment, what? He said that man was going to see your shame. This is what made, going back to the garden, Adam and Eve naked. Right? In a sort of sense, you know, when they was tempted and when they were deceived by the serpent, which was a man, by the way, there ain't no damn talking snakes. Snakes don't talk. They never did, they never will. Alright? What made them naked was what? They followed after the serpent, man. Alright? And as I mentioned before, all those old stories back then are taking place right now. So you have a lot of people in this garden, alright, which is America, Babylon the Great, which is going to be destroyed. The scripture said that that garden is going to be destroyed in the book of Joel. Hold that real quick. Joel, the 2nd chapter. Alright? You have a whole lot of people right now walking around in the garden naked as hell, man. But booty naked. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You see a child walking around butt booty naked, running around the house and shit. They that disobedient child running around this garden butt booty ass naked, man. You know? And when the Lord comes back, they gonna be shameful, man. Alright? This is why the Lord said, blessed is he that keepeth his garment, man. Keepeth the ways of the Lord. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. Keeping the faith, man. How many times have we heard in the scripture says, blessed is he that adoreth to the end? Or hold fast to the faith, man. It's mentioned many times. But these are the only things that's going to grant you salvation. See? Go ahead and get that. Because this garden that these people running around naked in is going to be destroyed. Right? That garden that is talking about in the book of Joel is Babylon the Great, America, man. It was destined to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire in the midst of World War III. Alright? Go on and get this.
Book of Joel, chapter 2 and 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth.
Talking about the missile, man. Right? A fire devours before them. Talking about the propulsion system of the missile, right? Right? Keep reading.
It says, behind them a flame burneth,
And then behind it, the flame burneth. Keep reading.
the land is as the garden of
See
Eden.
that this land is as the Garden of Eden. Alright? Same thing that took place back then in the Garden of Eden, taking place all over again. Alright? What made the world back then so wicked was what? The serpent talking to the woman. Then the dude that was able to see the man, Adam. You have that going on right now, by the way, women's liberation.
Yeah, we do.
By the way of women's liberation, you get the wickedness that you see right now. All chaos, all Hades breaking loose. Right? A man could be a woman could be a man, right? Murder, fatherless homes, that breeds fucking witness, right? All that through just this one event, man. And it just trickles down, man. I always say the famous quote, man, that women's liberation is like a gateway, man. And it leads up to worse drugs, man. This is the status of today's world. Alright? So the land is at the Garden of Eden before them, keep reading.
And behind them a desolate
And
wilderness.
then behind it, after the missile was launched, by these different military powers such as Russia, China, Iran, and even Saudi Arabia, they just linked up with the BRICS nation, right? When all these nations shoot their missiles upon Babylon the Great, shit gonna be a desolate wilderness. The only thing that's gonna be left is desert-like creatures.
They go to
That's what's
10%
gonna be
bill
in
now.
these desert-like creatures. It's gonna be demons. Alright? Demons that's on these people are gonna be in those animals. Alright? And this place is gonna be a memorial for society, but not to ever be like ever again. Alright? That's what's gonna happen. That's what the prophet says. So knowing all this, what? We have to wake up. Because this is what the Lord is gonna do. The Lord is gonna grant salvation to his election and destroy the wicked. Alright? And if you don't get right, I'm telling you right now, if you don't get right, you don't repent, you won't get left, man. If you don't get right, you're gonna get left. Alright? This is the option that the Lord is giving to us. It's not like the Lord is not giving us an option. The Lord is extending his hand. Alright? I've been going into it in the Yahushai's Nights camp a couple of times, for a couple of weeks now, what the name of the Lord means. You have the Ha character in the Lord's name, which means what? The Ha character in the Hebrew means extended arm, extended hand. Right? Can you look up real quick that phrase, the Lord stretched forth his arm? See how many times that pops up in the scripture? It's hundreds of times where the Lord mentioned that. He stretched forth his hand. But no man regarded. The Lord is showing us mercy, man. But how many of our people taking advantage of that grace period? It's not many, man. It's not many. Yeah.
I believe there's more. He also talks about when he sends his right hand, which is Yahushua. That's one in the book of Psalms.
I looked up that phrase before, and it was a couple times. I think it was like 50-ish times. They mentioned it. Maybe you just got to reword it a little different. It's all good. But it mentions it multiple times in the scriptures, nevertheless. All right? And that goes into the Lord extending his mercy out into our people. You know, but our people not taking advantage of it. All right? But it's all good. It's all good. Because it was written that they wasn't going to take advantage of it. You know? Well, how many you got? You got, see, brother got 42 this time. You know, you got to be worried a little bit. You know? But the high character in the Lord name means extended arm, stretched forth hand. That's the Lord showing us mercy. All right? Like it says in the book of Sirach, the second chapter, in the last verse. What? So is the Lord's majesty is, so is his mercy. So the Lord is a merciful power. He's not just going to destroy this present world without having a warning, without giving you a chance to repent. All you just have to do is just take advantage of it. And this is what the Lord is setting up. So jump back to the book of Romans, the 13th chapter.
Romans 13 and 11, and that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Right? For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
See that? Now is the salvation of the Bible nearer than what we all believe. The salvation that is spoken about in the book of Revelation, right? Which was a great salvation from the hands of Babylon, right? Or the inhabitants of Babylon. That salvation is nearer than what we all believe, right? The salvation that the prophet Isaiah spoke about. I believe in Isaiah the 64th or the 65th chapter. That salvation is nearer than what we all believe, right? In order to be a prophet, you have to prophesy about a couple things. You have to prophesy about Yahweh Shai. You have to prophesy about the salvation that's coming into our people. All right? And this will make the Bible true. Right? And that salvation is pending. It's very close, man. All right? Yeah, go ahead.
The Psalm 68, verse 10. Thy congregation has dwelt therein. Thou, O Yahweh, hast prepared of thy goodness for the poor.
Alright? The problem is that you niggas is comfortable with being called niggas. That's the problem. That's the issue. You see?
Well, verse.
You heard him?
Romans 13 and 12. The night is forspent, the day is ahead. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness.
See that we have to cast off the works of darkness, man. Alright? The works of darkness represents what? The wicked acts of the flesh. Right? We have to purge that. Alright? We have to get rid of that to the best of our ability in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. Right? In order to receive that salvation, in order to receive that kingdom. Alright? People think see, that's what's wrong with the Christian church. The Christian church will tell you that you can receive of that salvation that was spoken of by the holy prophets as long as you pay your tithes, right? As long as you pay your tithes, right? You can get that salvation. Actually, it's not even that. Motherfucker, you already saved. This is what they tell you. This is accepted. They don't speak about the being cleansed with the fire that Yahweh Shai is coming to baptize us with, right? They don't speak about the purging of the action of the flesh, like it said right here in Romans the 13th chapter. You have to cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. They don't teach none of this. But these are the requirements. These are the essentials to inherit a kingdom, man. This is why a lot of people are going to die in their unfaithfulness. A lot of people are going to die in their ignorance, man. Right? Because they don't even consider it. That's the issue, man. So read that again.
Again, Romans 13 and 12. The night is forspent, the day is ahead. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness,
right,
and let us put on the armor of light.
And let us put on the armor of light. And the armor of light is who? The armor of light It's Hamashiach Yahushua. This is like how it says in what's that? I believe it's in the book of Colossians. Alright? We have to be made in the image of Hamashiach Yahushua. Alright? That's how you put on the armor of light. Because Yahushua himself is the light. Alright? And when you adopt his ways and accept his ways and be conformed to his image, you're putting on that armor of light. You see that? You can also call that armor of light the fruits of the spirit, man. Because Yahushua had each and every one of those attributes. And this is what he wants us to be like. Alright? This is what he wants us to be like. But what you have going on right now is the conflicting, the conflict or the conflicting of the two images, man. The two images that's conflicting, that's going head in head right now, is the image of Yahushua and the image of the beast. See that? Our people want to be beasts. They want to do whatever the flesh tells them to do, which is like a fucking animal, a beast. But the Lord is telling us not to be like that, man. The Lord is telling us to be civilized. Here it is, Esau tell you that you civilize the whole world. You ain't civilized shit. Being civilized is adopting the ways of Yahushua into your life. And this is what the Lord wants us to have, man. He wants us to be civilized. Can we look at that word, Yahushua? Be civilized.
Looking at our stupid asses like we dumb.
Like a dolphin.
But this is what our people lost. Our people are not civilized. They're fucking animals walking around. You hear it? Yeah. You know? Nah, I hear it. It's all good though. Fucking animals, man. People smoking.
Good.
You smoke, you an animal.
She sounded like a dolphin laughing and shit.
You murder, you an animal. You know, it's crazy because when my cousin got murdered back in January, that's what his sister had said, man. These animals murdered her brother. You know? If you murder, you're an animal, man. If you commit adultery, if you worship false gods, you a fucking animal, man.
That's right.
You got that word?
Yes.
Good.
This is from the etymology online, civilized, the adjective in a state of civilization. Now I'm going to jump down to the verb from the 1600s to bring out of barbarism, right? To bring out of barbarism.
Yeah, to bring out of barbarism. Barbarism is what? Darkness?
No.
Okay. Get it. Look up that word, barbarism. Yo, oh yeah, like a barbarian.
Going without order.
Yeah, okay.
Like what's called an example, when you go into the history of the Roman Empire, the lands that were outside of the Roman Empire, they were called barbaric lands. Why? Because they didn't have the Roman influence, the Roman order.
Yeah, they didn't speak their language as well.
The Roman money that was being used.
That's the same thing that's going on in today's world, man. Esau claiming, you know, trying to set foot in all these lands that quote unquote civilized them, you know, with their ideology, with their money, you know. But we see the end result of that all the time, man. That just corrupts nations. That leads nations to war against each other, man. You know. Edomites set foot in land, claiming that they're civilizing them, man. But really, the Edomite nation, that power structure, that ideology, that's barbaric, man. Without order. There's no order with a man popping another man. There's no order with a woman licking on another woman. That's not order, man. That's death. You know? You read on that, bro?
Yep.
Oh, you got it, bro.
Was you in Psalms?
No, he was reading.
I was reading.
But you got it, bro.
Oh, no, just finish it. I'll get the scripture after.
Introduce order and civil organization among refined and enlightened. From French, civiliseur, verb from Old French, civil. From Latin, civilis, relating to a citizen, relating to public life.
You got it,
Con, just a real quick scripture, because that when you said that, it reminded me of this video I did entitled "Wisdom Separates Us from Beasts." You know, and this is just a quick one. Psalm 73, verse 22 says, "So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee." And then I want to get one more. Hold on. Psalm 49. So I did. This is Psalm 49 and verse 20. It says, "Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beast that perisheth." And Yeah, because you got people that's honored in this world. You know, I follow you set in great dignity.
Right.
You got like these. Well, let's use some of these rappers for example. Some people look at them, they honor them people, but they don't have the understanding.
Right.
You know, and so they really are as beasts. You know, and they behave such as beasts, and that's why all these damn rappers keep getting murdered in the first place. You know.
Can you read that again?
From verb from Old French, civil, from Latin civilis, relating to a citizen, related to public life.
See that? Being a citizen relating to public life. This is what we come back to when we worship the Lord, right? We come back to the ways of the Lord. We're no more foreigners, as the scripture says, but what? We're fellow citizens with the household of the Most High. That's going into being civilized, all right? Because as we was going into before, our people lost being civilized. Our people walking around here like animals, all right? I believe you're a complete animal if you believe you're black. I believe that's real animalistic, right? I'm trying to hit Jake where it hurts. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's real ignorant to call yourself an African American. You believe in black people. Fuck black people.
That's right.
You know? Hey, black people not going to inherit the kingdom.
That's right.
All right?
Hey, bro. Yo, first of all, black culture is death. But
Cancerous.
Esau credits himself with he said that we should be happy that he put us in slavery. I'm talking about the so-called white man for anybody that didn't know. They say that we should be happy that they put us in slavery because at least they civilized us.
Right.
But if we were so civilized, then we wouldn't be killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be on drugs.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't be robbing and committing adultery. You see? And now what we doing, like you said, the Lord is the one that's civilizing us, giving us back the Holy Spirit, and that's what they don't like. The dead bodies, man, and Ezekiel as well. So they want to keep us in that position, man.
If I can say this, all of those things that you mentioned, robbing, murder, adultery, all of those things are attached to calling yourself black, man.
Yeah.
Are attached to black culture. I mean, just look at what Jake puts in the music.
Yeah.
What do they rap about? What do they talk about? They glorifying all of those things. So that's why we say to hell with that identity. We're what the Lord called us.
Right.
All right. We're the nation of Israel. Okay. You got it, bro.
Yeah, go ahead and read that precept.
Black Lives Matter. Walking up.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You get the definition of black.
Oh, yeah, rock it up.
Just a quick Google definition.
You know Google ain't
It says,
Hey, brother, real quick. Can we read the definition of black to you?
I'm a daughter with me.
Nah. Yeah, good information though. Look it up yourself though.
He gonna stay in the congregation of the dead.
this is the definition of black.
Thank you, though.
It says, just a quick Google search, it says, of the very darkest color, owing the absence of the complete absorption of light.
Damn.
Opposite of light.
The absence of light, bro.
Yeah.
That's death.
Yeah. Here it is. The Lord. The reason why our people are walking around like a contradiction, because we're supposed to be the chosen people of the Lord. The Lord said we the children of light. How are we literally the opposite of that? You know? It said what? Black means to absorb light. You know? It means what? The opposite of white, man. Read that again. Bible shop one more time.
This is just a quick Google search definition. The first thing that pops up, say black definition. It says, of the very darkest color, owing to the absence of or complete absorption of light.
Yeah, the absence of light. Here it is, the Lord said we the children of light. How are we absent of the light? The light represents the truth, the knowledge, the faith, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. How are we absent of that? This is what our people act like, and when they portray themselves as black. You know? Barbaric, animalistic. What's the I can't even call her a woman. What's the people into right now? Popping sexy red.
Sick. Oh my
Sexy red.
God.
They have these young women doing right now in the songs. It's having our people act really barbaric.
Yeah.
That's an issue, man.
Shit is demonic and
And if you
satanic.
can't stand up to that as a man and preach against that man, you with it.
You're part of the
You
problem.
know?
Well, according to the scriptures say that if if the land is given into order,
Yeah.
then how does it go?
The whole city will become evil.
The whole city will become evil
Yep.
and wicked.
Yeah.
You know, and now I got the etymology real quick, right?
Yep.
Of black, right? It say black was used of dark-skinned people in Old English, of coffee with nothing added, attested by 1796. It says the meaning, fierce, terrible, wicked. And from the late 14th century, the figurative senses often come from the notion of without light, moral or spiritual. And then it says gloomy, unlucky, bad, wicked, malicious.
Sheesh. Wisdom should not enter into malicious soul.
Yeah, if I could say this too, when you go, if you watch the Malcolm X,
Yeah.
they go into the definition of
Yeah. Yeah.
because Esau, he's a demon. He actually took out the actual definition of what black men
Come.
means. Like the brother just read, the etymology, really it means wicked.
Yeah.
You're calling yourself a wicked, evil demon.
Yeah.
If you call yourself black. And white people are doing the exact opposite. They're calling themselves righteous. They're the righteous people on the earth. And that's why people look at them in such a high manner.
Come.
And that's why people look at us automatically as a criminal.
Yeah.
You know?
Come.
But that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing is we're waking up our people and letting them know, no, we're not criminals.
Yeah.
We're the exact opposite.
Come.
We're the children of the Lord. And the Lord, what he's doing, he's refining us and building us up. And we're going to bring forth light to the whole world. The whole world is going to change.
That's right.
You mentioned the word criminal, right?
That's right.
The real criminal is the one that oppressed us.
Crimson.
Because the word criminal, dealing with color-wise, it goes back to the color crimson. Crimson is dealing with red. Who is the red people that's been oppressing us right now? Whose blood shows forth through his skin. It's the so-called white man. But biblically, he'll be known as Esau Edom, right? And this is what he has to pay for the atrocities that he did to our people. Because another reason why people calling themselves black, because they going through post-traumatic slave syndrome. You hating your brother, that shit is not normal, right? That stems back to slavery. Shit, I seen a TikTok the other day where hush puppies come from. Hush puppies come from basically, what's it called? Breaded crumbs being fried, them thrown in the woods trying to get away from the dogs. Right, with distraction from the dogs. That's where hush puppies come from. Hence the name hush puppy. It allowed the dogs to be quiet and distracted from them being chased off in the woods, man. You know? Yeah. Some people, they got a lot to pay for what they done to our people.
If I can add to that.
Yeah.
This is why we call Esau the devil. Because what does the word devil mean? It means deceiver.
Yep.
And like the brother mentioned, brother Shamash mentioned, he gave us this byword, black, all right, for the world to think that we were those criminals, all right, that we're the vagabond, that we're the fugitives, okay, to hide the fact that that's who he truly is, you see? And so that's why we separate ourselves from that identity. You know,
You said you've been watching the video?
Watching a few videos on YouTube. I've known about it. I grew up right here my whole life. I'm a college graduate. I work at high school and everything. So I've been watching you guys for years. I've known about the Hebrew Israelites for a long time.
Okay, so if I may ask, what tribe are you?
What tribe am I? I'm not in the tribe. I'm man.
You're not in the tribe?
You just
said you
just been watching.
You
That's
gather
it.
when you watch.
Well, I'm an agnostic believer. I believe in the faith. I believe in there's a higher power.
So you don't.
I won't conform.
It's not something to conform.
Yeah.
You know. So get Deuteronomy 7:6 real quick.
Definitely go to your book and read. I like listening.
If I may say, there's nothing wrong with being conformed to an image.
Right.
Actually, we went into this earlier before. It's either you're conformed to the Lord's image and what the Lord wants you to be, or you conform to the so-called white man's image to what he wants you to be.
Right. And I get
you
that.
have to be conformed to an image.
Right, and I get that. We all have our trials and tribulations. We've all been through the battles, the trials, and the struggles, right? You have, everyone up here has on this family, right? You found yourself here from somewhere, right? Because you came from somewhere before you got here, before you started speaking the word, right? You was doing something before this.
Well, that's what we trying to.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm 42. I've been around a little bit. I get it. So I understand. So I'm listening. I'm taking in. I'm taking heed, and I understand.
So who would you say, like, probably let's say two. What would you say like two important things that you grasped from hearing the word? What stuck out to you?
What sticks out to me is, as I read this, I'm looking at like the 12 tribes of Israel.
But not only this what you've been learning.
But what you guys say, you guys are real knowledgeable about the book. Like, we used to always kind of, as youngins, when we watch you guys, and the guys would be like, read, and then the dude would just come out of nowhere and he'd go straight to the scripture. It was kind of like, it was scripted, but it was like, it was certain scriptures that you guys always went to all the time. But then when I listened to it, it was like, them Jones hit straight on point. Like, you guys are really in the Bible. You know exactly what area you're going to go to, and you know what scriptures you're going to hit, and what people that are going to listen to. I done seen dudes kind of, and you guys didn't do that, and I'm glad you guys didn't do that to the dude who walked by with his child. Because that would have been disrespectful. That child didn't warrant that, right? But you guys definitely know the book, and you use certain passages to hit home. So I noticed that, and I noticed y'all are unified. And that's big. So if you say two things, those are two things that I really know.
Okay. And that's good. You know, I'm glad you noticed that.
And third,
okay, go ahead.
I noticed the differentiation in the group of the Hebrew Israelites, right? This ain't the first time that I've seen a brother of less complexion of melanin in the Hebrew Israelites. But at the bottom, I see Mexicans. And I've never seen that before. I don't know what his nationality is.
The brother can tell you. Go ahead, tell him, brother. Okay. According to this 12, Guatemala.
There we go. So he stands. So I've never seen that though, as I've been looking and doing my research, right? I've never seen that. Okay. I've always seen righteous brothers right then and there. But he's a righteous brother as well. So
you mean you only seen Negroes basically?
Negroes.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's say that. Let's say that. Let's say that.
So if I ask you what's your nationality, what would be your answer?
Before this?
Yeah.
Oh, before anything? I'm black. But I heard what you said.
Yeah.
I'm a Negro. I mean, I know I'm a Negro. I'm not an African American, right? I'm black. I'm not. I'm a Negro.
Your shirt is black.
Yeah. My shirt's black.
What do Negro mean?
You did. Just pointed to it. That's what it means?
No, it means black.
Yeah. So I'm not a Negro?
No, you're Hebrew. Get Jeremiah 17.
Let's go to the book. That's what I love. This the part that I like, emotion.
One of the things I noticed that you said that stuck out to you is that we acknowledge, but the things that we don't want to portray to our people is that the knowledge that we have is just for ourselves. Right? We have to pass what we know.
Make sure you get it.
Oh yeah, I got it. This is why we out here. We not out here to say better. We out here to share what we know so that we can wake up and get out of here at the end of the day. Right. At the end of the day, he's still called Jesus Christ. Ignorant, right? He has a Hebrew name, but you know we'll pass it on to later down the time. But he's coming back to make his second return.
Right.
And in order for him to save you out of this destruction that's coming, you need to know who you are.
Exactly.
Right? And that's an important message. You know?
Just to back up what Shaw said.
Book of Luke, chapter 14 and 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out unto the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Right. And that's what we're doing. We're coming out here and we're passing the knowledge that we have so that the Lord house may be filled. You know? And they say compel, which means to threaten. There's a lot of hell coming to this place. And our job is to warn the people. You know? Jump over to Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Right, so you see Jeremiah is saying we would discontinue from who we actually are. That's why we're calling ourselves black, Negroes, African Americans, everything under the sun but exactly who we are. Psalm 83. You know, you have to know that this was a keep on that.
It says, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Right. The reason why we pissed the Lord off is because we didn't listen to him. Right. You know, as our people are still doing today.
Psalms 83, verse 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right, our oppressor, our enemy has given us these names of black and Negro. These are what we call Bibles. That's an insult to us.
Right.
Yep.
You know?
So he was already knowing that you were going to transition to that, so he had songs ready, right?
Nah.
You did.
I called it.
You called it out.
Yeah, he went to it.
You know, a lot of times too, like a lot of the script that you put is a very historical script, right? A lot of the people aren't really educationally informed about the book, right? When I came up, you guys were teaching about what was not warranted for our people, like what was unclean, what we shouldn't eat, right? Like the seafood and pork and lamb, red.
No. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Seafood and pork. Yeah.
Right. So
Awesome. Alligator.
down there at Chinatown doing it,
Right.
and we were learning about what was unclean. A lot of people still need to learn that part too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why we
I know. I'm just saying. I was down and back. I was like, I remember when the brother was reading, and he was, you know, he was theatrical. He was hitting. He was like, this is unclean about how a man and a woman on her cycle and this, that, and the third, and all of that. Like I was young. I was like 13, but I always remember that I see you guys out here doing what y'all do, and I'm telling you from my heart, I appreciate the work y'all do.
I got a question for you though,
Yeah,
bro.
go ahead, bro.
You why do you think that we here though? I mean, as far as like the big picture, we can talk about details, but like you talking about the grand scheme of things, right? Why do you think that we just here to, you know, just tell people, hey, this is who you are, and so, you know, so on and so forth, you can live a better life
Right.
in America?
Right.
Is that what you think that we here?
Nah, I think personally, I don't want to use the wrong terminology.
Nah,
but
just say what you want to say.
You guys are the same way that I do in the school system with young black youth and young black and brown youth. You guys are disciples. Like y'all speak the word from above, like from the book. Like you are a disciple. You are here like any other disciple had been here before we was born.
Like prophets. Now,
like prophets.
Now get Jeremiah 28, because that's what we want to get into, because the things that we talking about in details is good, right?
Yeah.
But there's still a grand scheme of things, right? There's the main reason why we're here.
Right.
You got Jeremiah, bring it up.
Jeremiah 28 and verse 8
Now listen.
says, the prophets that have been before me
Right.
and before thee of old
Right.
prophesied both
Right.
against many countries.
So when we show up in the scene, right, because it's a process of reincarnation, right?
Right.
Our souls have done this in the past. That's why the spirit jumps on us. All right, we come from different places on the earth, and the spirit just jumps on us and say, yo, this is what you gotta do, right? So when we show up on the scene, go ahead.
It says, and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries
Get prophesied against countries, go ahead.
and against great kingdoms.
Go ahead.
It says of war
Right.
and of evil
Right.
and of pestilence.
Right, so you gotta understand the main reason why we're here is because when you go into the book of Revelation, right? Revelation speaks about Babylon the Great.
Right.
It's not speaking about ancient Babylon, it's speaking about a land that will rise up in the end times that will be like ancient Babylon and even on a greater scale. All right, a land full of what? Different people for different nationalities. And the Most High said that land that is Babylon-like will be destroyed by fire. All right, now we know that land to be the United States of America.
Right.
Whether they like it or not, this is prophecy. Now we out here to tell you, God sent us to tell our people He's getting ready to destroy America by throwing nuclear missiles. You understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
So it's a lot bigger than just how we got to change nutrition and all that. We're talking about salvation.
Right.
America's time as an empire is coming to an end.
Soon.
Every empire
Very
gradually
soon.
falls.
Absolutely. But you know what? People know this, but they don't believe that it's going to happen in their generation. Let me get Luke 21, 32. Luke 21 and 32. But if you look around, right, you're talking about a combination of how Sodom and Gomorrah was. the homosexuality, bestiality.
Right.
You're talking about the high levels of degeneracy. Let me get Tobit 4:13. Right? You see how degenerate our people are. Not only our people, the whole country. Right? Now, the degenerate behavior is usually a sign of what? The downfall of an empire. But why is this happening all of a sudden? The degeneracy happened primarily and started to really excel back in the 70s. Right? What's called feminism.
Okay.
Now, when you go back to the 60s, 10 years prior, that's when the first man whom the law started really dealing with truth, a man called Albert Bivens in New York, right, started coming with the word and teaching our masters, our apostles, our teachers.
Right.
And then they got their teachers taught them, and they taught us. So really, if you look at when the degeneracy in America started to rise, it's also about the same time when the awakening of the real Jews, right, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans happened. Think about it, right? And when the people awaken, that means what? The nation is rising as a people, becoming a force. That means in the opposite end, the other nation got to fall. Our rise is happening at the same time of the fall of America. Because why? We're God's children. So let me get Tobit 4:13 first. Let's deal with the degeneracy that's going on. Yeah, go ahead.
It is Tobit chapter 4, verse 13. Right? It says, "Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them, for in pride is destruction,
right?
And much trouble,
right?
And in lewdness is decay,
and lewdness is degeneracy." You see the level of degeneracy going on. See, they need war star. I mean, you don't even have to go to war star. We see it out here all the time, men and women. So it says lewdness, which is degeneracy. So read that again.
Yeah, it says for in pride is destruction and much trouble,
right?
And in lewdness is decay and great want.
In lewdness, meaning in degeneracy, there's what? There comes a decay of society.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Society has greatly decayed, if you remember. Just fucking, excuse my language, well, early 2000, it wasn't as bad, right?
Right.
Look at where we at now,
So it is
23
decaying
years
now.
later.
It's definitely decaying.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these youngest Gen Z, they don't even understand what we witnessed in the late 90s, right? In the 2000s. From where we are now, 23 years later.
Right.
The topics that are being talked about and being accepted in society it wouldn't have happened back then.
Yeah.
The way dudes dress, the way females, it wouldn't have happened back then. Now to this, it was bad, but it wasn't like this. So clearly, the society is being decayed. It's been in the process of decaying. Why? Because it's been prophesied that what the Most High God was always going to do this to America. But just like what he did with Egypt, what happened to Egypt? Egypt started to decay when Moses showed up. Right?
Is that the around the Pharaoh time? Or
Yeah,
something like
remember, Egypt was great.
Yeah.
But then when Moses came in to get his people, that's when Egypt started to decay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what's happening to America now is the same thing that happened because we were the Hebrews back then. That Moses came and delivered. Moses was a Levite, a so-called Haitian. He was the one that came in, and the Most High sent him to deliver us out of the Egyptians.
I didn't know that.
Now you know something.
I learned something today.
And that's what I'm saying. Every time we rise up, because see, this is not the first time we've been slaves. We've been in multiple captivities and slavery before.
Right.
This is the last one. But every time Israel wakes up, that empire that enslaved Israel, they go down.
So that 500 years ain't nothing compared to what was beyond.
No. Actually, this is the worst captivity. This is worse. Every other captivity was either 400 or 20 years, 18 years. You can go into the book of Judges, sometimes 60 years. But this is the greatest amount of time we've ever been enslaved. And the worst thing, Jeremiah 17 and 6. Now, finish it. Yeah.
Now this is back in Tobit chapter 4 and verse 13 again. Right? It says, "Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people,
Right.
and not taking a wife of them.
Right.
For in pride is destruction,
Right.
and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want.
Right.
For lewdness is the mother of famine."
What? See, lewdness, which is the degeneracy, is the mother of famine. What does that mean? When a society becomes degenerate, if you go into the history of the world And this has always been God's doing. Every time a society becomes extremely degenerate, guess what tends to happen? Famine kicks in. Famine kicks in. All of a sudden you have what? You have shortage of food, right? Things have to be rationed. Prices go up, inflation.
Struggle,
This guy's
crime.
doing. Like in ancient times, you would hear stuff like, and the land suffered a dearth, meaning a drought. But why was the land suffering a drought? It wasn't just by accident, because people were being degenerates. So the Most High did that to weed people out as a form of judgment. You see what I'm saying? So that's exactly where we're going. You're gonna experience the greatest level of famine across the world. Now most of it is gonna be artificially made, artificially established by the Rothschilds, you know, the Rockefellers, the Illuminatis, right?
Big money, big
right.
bill.
They're gonna artificially do that because they gotta reduce the numbers from 8 billion people down to about, let's say 500 million, but what's probably sit down like 3 billion.
Population control.
Population reduction, population control. So a lot of us, they deem, like Bill Gates and them, they deem that a lot of us have to go.
Right.
That's why Bill Gates went around and bought all the farmland in America. Why? Because he wants to make sure when they say, yo, listen, Great Reset, 20, 30 years on, they want to make sure niggas, well, excuse my language, Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the majority of people are not self-sufficient, so you would die of famine. You would have to rely on the government to eat.
Exactly.
And when you want to eat, the government is going to have food for you in one hand, and they're going to have a microchip for you to put in your hand.
That's what's happening now, though.
Not to that scale yet.
Almost.
But we did.
Almost.
We almost there.
Yeah.
The squeeze is on.
Yeah.
The squeeze is on. Now, get Jeremiah 17.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 6.
What?
And it says, for he shall be like the heath in the desert.
No. Shall discontinue.
Oh, okay. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4.
17 to 4.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. It says, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn.
And Slack, call it read again. We got distracted a little bit.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4.
Right.
And it says, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave you.
Now that's prophecy. All right. The prophet Jeremiah was shown by God. The Most High said, listen, man, I'm tired of these knucklehead niggas. Well, I mean, again, I'm using the word that the white man put on this. I'm tired of these Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans bucking up on my word. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to set up another nation of people. All right? And somebody get there to Deuteronomy 20. I will set a nation that's swift as an eagle. Now, the Lord said, you know what? You're my people, and I've given you law, statutes, commandments. I took you out of Egypt, right? I gave you law, statutes, commandments. But by the time Moses came down, you was already worshiping other gods, golden bull and all that. That was us. It wasn't the Jewish community in the land of Israel. Those are imposters that in the 1940s basically took on a personality, right? And stole our nationality, basically. They're moving around the world acting like they were us. You see what I'm saying? And while we're in captivity, the Lord said, well, I'm going to put you in slavery under another nation. And if you're going to lose your nationality, you're going to go from calling yourself a Judite to African American. You're going to call yourself a West Indian instead of a Benjamin. You're going to call yourself a Haitian instead of a Levite, so on and so forth, all down to Issachar, Mexico. That's why we read Jeremiah 17 and 6. Read Jeremiah 17 and 4. Right.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4.
Right.
And it says, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Right.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
Serve your enemies. Go ahead.
In the land which thou knowest not.
In the land excluded out. That's how we got put in boats. And if you know about Deuteronomy, which I hope brothers got it, right?
That's crazy.
Bring it out. We're going to hit him. We're going to hit it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and the 49th verse.
And after that, brother, jump down to 68. All right? Go ahead.
Actually, I'm going to start the 40th verse.
Go ahead.
It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger,
right?
And in thirst,
right?
And in nakedness,
right?
And in want of all things.
Right? But that's the reason why in this society, everything that we wear is made, it's made by who? By our oppressors, primarily the so-called white man, Italian brands, and all these different brands, right? It doesn't say made by Negroes. The only time we had our so-called own FUBU,
it never say that.
What happened to that farm?
Yeah.
See that? Because you know what? The Most High is against us. He's been against us. Why? Because we were disobedient children. So he said, I'm going to use a nation of people, the so-called white man, the so-called white race. I'm going to use them to put you in slavery so you can learn your lesson. All right? That's what's happened to us. All right? We weren't taken down by Europeans because they were stronger. We were taken down by them because God made it so.
That's right.
That's the only way. You know this, brother. The only way the white man can beat us if God has to be with him, man.
Right. We was disobedient to the word.
To the Most High because he made us. We're supposed to be the chosen ones. And we bucked up against him. So he said, you know what? I'm going to take the lowest nation on earth. And I'm going to set them over you, man. Go ahead.
It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
He put a yoke of iron upon your neck. Go into the history, man. There's a reason why. Out of all the captivities in the world, like, listen, we weren't the only ones enslaved. The Chinese, everybody has had slavery done onto them. Why is it that our slavery had the type of yokes? That was the first time in history.
That hit different right there.
But you know why that was like that? You know what? That slavery looked different. God made it so you would recognize that this slavery was special for a special people. It wouldn't be like any other slavery that happened to anybody else in the world.
Yes.
That was made like that to distinguish.
Can you read that again?
Again, I read from the top. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Yeah, like some brother showing you a picture right there.
Hey, nah, I already know. I'm here.
You already know.
So 15 years in the education.
Hey, that's what it is. So it's the imagery that matches.
That's why I was just trying to match that till I like.
Absolutely.
I never read that though.
And it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he hath destroyed thee.
What?
49th verse. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
From far. So wherever you are, the Most High is going to send a nation against you from far. Go ahead.
It says, from the end of the earth.
From the end of the earth. Go ahead.
As swift as the eagle
Hold
flieth.
on. As what?
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Hold on, man. What's the emblem? What's the emblem of the so-called white man, the European man in general? America included. Germany, France, America. Come on, bro.
Even being like that for the Greeks.
Yeah, even going back to the Greeks. The affinity, you got on, like, the white race has an affinity with the eagle. Why? Because the eagle, why? Because the eagle rises higher.
Size.
Right? It's pride. He rises, he's able to what?
That's a good breakdown. I like that.
A bird's eye view. That's why you see the Illuminati, they got that thing called an all-seeing eye, right?
Yeah.
And they always got to have a bird's eye view.
$1.
Yeah. So that's what it is. The emblem of the European man has always been the eagle. That's why the Lord put it there like that in the scripture for us to realize that the so-called white man was chosen by God to be our oppressor. Why? Because we disobeyed our own power. So the minute we go back to being obedient to the power, then guess what? Then he gets removed from being the oppressor. And now guess what? Oh, not only does he get removed from being the oppressor, the Bible said that we get to oppress him.
Right. So until we listen as a people, we suffer.
Basically.
Until we obey and stop being disobedient, we suffer.
Which that's what a father would do to his child.
So mathematics doesn't lie, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
What's the mathematics on that really happening on a wide, large scale of people really listening and taking heed to the word, to the book?
That's beautiful. I got something about it. Zechariah 13. You know what? It was beautiful because that's how we know you were you an intelligent brother. All right? Because not only intelligent brother, you're wise. You understand that truth lies in numbers.
Exactly.
Because what you're saying is true. Like, yo, listen, if we gotta listen for us to be where we need to be, it's gonna require a whole bunch of people to listen. Now let's find out. The Most High tells you about the number. Because there is a number. All right, get it, Zechariah.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8.
What?
And it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord.
All the land is talking about the land of America. All right, also known in the Bible as Babylon the Great, right? Now check this out. Go ahead.
It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord,
right,
2 parts therein shall be cut off to God.
2 parts. Now we talking numbers. 2 parts. 2 out of 3. All right. It's called 2/3. 2 out of 3. Basically, the Lord is saying, with all this preaching that we're doing, eventually, at the end of the day, 2 out of 3 of these people right here, of his own people, are gonna what? They're gonna die. They're gonna be destroyed with America. Because guess what? They ain't gonna listen.
So why was it America at first, though? Like, the first part you read, why was it America?
You said, why was it?
In all the land.
Why was it? No, I said that land.
Right,
Right,
yeah, when he said
right. Because
about the
remember,
land,
he's
why was it
prophesying.
about-
Remember, he's prophesying about the
Okay,
last
all right,
days.
bet.
Right, and he's prophesying about the location of Israel, right, as a bunch in the last days. That location is North America, right, some parts of South America, but mostly North America, because all the prophets always focus on that final land.
Okay.
Babylon the Great and what will happen to the children of the Lord in that land. Babylon the Great being the United States. Because you're not going to find the actual word United States in the Bible. Come on, man.
Right.
These are symbolic.
No, definitely. You're definitely not going to find it.
Absolutely.
The way how we know this is talking about America is because these prophecies, like you said, sometimes when it talks about Babylon, you have scriptures that's talking about ancient Babylon. You have scriptures that's talking about Babylon as in America. Now, how we know that's talking about America? Because that prophecy didn't actually take place in ancient Babylon. It didn't take place here. So it's only talking about one other thing.
Well, we see that here.
Exactly.
So, quick question. Are there more Israelites in other countries?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Yeah, you got brothers in Jamaica, you got brothers in London, you got brothers all throughout the European countries.
Right. I was just asking because I figured that, like, if all of the Israelites are here and they're not nowhere else, then yeah, damn. Then this is Babylon. This is Babylon town, whatever you want to call it.
I'll say this, because look, you have, now if you're looking at just straight up numbers, Israel, let me get Hosea. That's what I need Hosea. Bring it up.
This book of Hosea, chapter 1 and 10 verse. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Wow.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Right. So first the Bible, the first part,
right there.
the first part it
I
tells
understood all that.
you. Yeah, the first part tells you we scattered across the globe
Everywhere.
as the sand of the sea.
Yeah.
Then the second part tells you that in that particular place, where they're being told that they're not the children of the Most High, it's an insane place.
Right.
That everybody will know that the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are indeed the Hebrew Israelites, the children of God. All right? So when we're talking about prophecy and deliverance, primarily it's talking about the land of the Israelites in here in America being delivered, being saved, all right, by a so-called black man, all right, whom the world is ignorantly known as Jesus Christ, but that's not his name. His name is Yahushua from the tribe of Judah. He's going to come down before the nukes get shot off. Because World War III is coming. That's in the Bible. That's in the book of Revelation. It tells you the Third World War is on the way. And in the climax of that, nations are going to start, it's going to go nuclear. The Russians are saying a nuclear warfare with America is inevitable. That's when one of the generals, the Russian generals, just stated. He said a nuclear war with America is inevitable. Why did he say that? Because these are tactical geniuses. They know what's going on.
Right.
They know that eventually this thing is going to blow up. But the Lord is going to come down and save his elect. So finish Zechariah 13.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8.
Right.
And it says, and it shall come to pass,
Yep.
that all the land, says the Lord Yahweh,
Yep.
two parts therein shall be cut off and die.
2/3 are going to die. Go ahead.
But the third shall be left therein.
But 1/3 is going to be left there. 1/3 is going to be delivered. So the Most High is not delivered. He's not saving every one of us. He's not doing what he did with us when we got out of Egypt. See, when we got out of Egypt, everybody got out. But you had some niggas that got out, and they still had idols in their bags. Do you understand that?
I understand.
They knew the laws. Hey, listen, they had idols. Your God is coming to save you, but you got another God in your pocket.
Praying to something else, right?
You know what I'm saying? You in the tents in the desert. Because that's another thing too. You in the tents in the desert. Your God has got a flame of fire in the sky protecting you. And right? And you in the tent with your family and you got your gods. When he's telling you not to have any other gods. I'm the one who saved you. But you hiding your gods. Well, the Lord said, well, there's those same individuals this time around, they're going to burn here in the mud. Only the ones who truly believe are going to be saved.
That's like that. That's like that in life too, though. Like
it is.
People come and save people, and you save them, but it's so treacherous because
some people ain't with it like that.
It's like
some people ain't with it like that.
I'm gonna take this, but then I'm still
I got a plan B. I got a plan B.
I got a plan B for what? I'm doing plan A. I'm already. I'm follow me. I'm gonna bring it to the light.
Bro, you know as well as I do. There's a lot of our people right now, man. Even if there was an opportunity to get our own land somewhere, they wouldn't want to leave the suppression, brother. They would not leave the suppression to go in a different land, bro.
If you, and I'm gonna slide on this, and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, it's good, because we about to close out. So
if you went up there, and what you just said, you went up this block, right by the dump bar.
Yeah, man.
And you said, and you looked, and you seen, and you said that.
We've done it.
You can see it. They wouldn't, if you could come and take us right now.
Yeah, man.
They wouldn't want to go.
Nah, man.
It's the same thing when Mike Jack said. He when he said in this song, he would tell the angels no, because he don't want to leave his baby alone.
See that shit.
You know what they baby is up there?
Yeah,
you
man.
Know
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's the struggle. You want God say, I'm gonna take you. Tell the angels, no, I ain't ready to go right now. I'm gonna stay right here.
That's facts.
My baby is the drugs, it's the famine, it's all that. So I get it, man.
Yeah, it's crying out. It's crying out for freedom, but you ain't really trying to be free. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because there's some things that you got to do to acquire freedom. Sacrifice. Our people don't want to sacrifice.
I tell my football players that all the time.
Yeah, responsibility. The men of Israel, forget about the women. Listen, our women are gone. But the primary reason why our women are gone is because the men are gone. Because the women are always going to do what they're allowed to do when they see from the men. If the men fail, the women are going to fail.
That's right.
All right, so our women have failed is because primarily the Israelite man has failed God. So if you're going to fail your power, guess what? Your woman's going to fail you.
That's why I ain't took the jump yet, man.
Second Ezra 8, verse 1. And he answered,
Good.
And he answered, he is saying, the Most High has made the world for many, but the world comes for a few.
There we go. All right, so the world that's coming is our world. I know it's hard for our people to imagine a world where the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are ruling the planet, but that's where faith comes in. You either believe in the truth that we are the people and we're going to rule when God takes down this man and every other race of people that's trying to come up, because the Chinese trying to come up. They're trying to come in, they're trying to take America out of here and be the next one to rule. Everybody trying to come up. But our people are the only ones acting like children. Still coming up with dances, worried about clothes they're wearing. You know what I'm saying? Worried about styles and shit like that when these other races of people trying to conquer the world. So guess what? But guess what? We are the ones who are going to conquer the world and win. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua.
I respect how you broke it down today, man. Like I really respect how you broke it down today. You broke it down. That's good.
Yeah, just keep up. We got a YouTube, man. You got a phone.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give you the channel. Some of the brothers give you the channel. Can we get a preset? Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Hey, brother, give me
Yeah, I got a card or something. No, this is a channel. Okay. You got YouTube?
Yeah. And I will turn your feast into mourning and all your songs into lamentation.
You can feast on girls,
Truth.
crack,
Truth.
whatever it is that you're feasting on, he's going to take it away. Go ahead.
It says, and I will bring up sackcloth upon all lords.
This is what they're going to feel. Those two girls,
I watch this all the time, but I was watching some guys.
they're going to feel that this rap is coming upon them.
Like I said, I grew up there.
Right? There's no more feasting. Go ahead.
It says, and baldness upon every head.
Go ahead.
And I will
Oh,
make
that's our women. Let's get it straight. That's our women. Our women's going to be, it's going to come a time when no more weed shots, no more eyelash, no more meat drips, and half shirt, with the belly showing, and all the rings. All this is going to be good. That laughter, all that's going to be turned into burn. Go ahead.
It says, and baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the morning of an only son. It says, and I will take up sackcloth upon all loins and baldness upon every head.
You just seen two of them. Hey, that's cool.
It says, and I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof
That's how you're
as
going to be crying. You're going to be crying like the only son of the dead. We get ready to bury them. Right? We get ready to go to the funeral for them, for their kids, the things they like, the things they love. Go ahead.
I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day.
Yeah, go ahead.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and I will send a famine in the land.
Now, we talk about famine of food, bread, water. Now this is going to be a famine of the word. So if you don't get it now, you're never going to get it.
That's right.
The Ark of the Covenant is closed.
You gonna steal my mic, man?
From this dirt.
You gonna take my span?
Which is a fire.
Take my span.
It ain't on purpose.
You see?
Nah, go ahead.
So you don't get it now.
I was just right on it, y'all. Go ahead.
You're going to be drowned in nuclear fire.
That's right.
These are things that you cannot imagine because we've never seen it with our eyes. We've seen blood, we've seen water, but we've never seen liquid, lava-like nuclear radiation.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
Now the words of the Lord is salvation. The words of the Lord is life. So if you're not going to get it or can't find it, remember the scripture that says, in the days of thy youth, what you got to learn in the days of your youth? You got to learn this word, this salvation. Otherwise, you're going to be drowned. And Negroes don't like to swim. Go ahead.
So first, they shall wander from sea to sea,
Right.
and from the north even to the east.
Right, because the brothers said, oh, I seen you there, I seen you downtown, I heard you when I was 13 years old. Now, if you walk off today and don't get to what was told to him, right, he's going to be drowned.
That's right.
Even though he heard the word. Doesn't matter.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord.
That's us. Because the word of the Lord comes from the mouthpiece of the prophet. The mouthpiece of the men of the Lord. If they don't get that, if they don't receive that, and it's not for them, slaughtered and blotted, you see? Go ahead.
It says, and shall not find it.
Yeah, they're not going to find it. Because the doors of mercy is now closed.
That's right.
You see? So, go ahead, bro.
All right, brother. Hey, so with that, hey, we're going to close out, man. Hey, we're going to say Carl Halal.
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Kakwadash.
Give a double honor to our apostles, the elders, the great millstones, Shalom, salutation to all you sins say, I can cross the four winds, and strong and faithful. Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Ba'Shem, Kakwadash. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.